Chit-Chaturday. How are you guys doing today? I am doing quite well. I, for the past couple weeks, have been doing this glowy skin, JLO type of inspiring look. It is winter time, my skin's a little bit dry and dehydrated, so I've come up with this routine. A little bit extensive, but for me it's become a routine of really getting my skin to look glowy and dewy and just really pretty, kind of lit from within type of glow. And it's really quite simple. I mean, you can feel free to omit some of the steps or whatever, cater it to your needs. Don't feel like you have to use everything exactly that I used. You can sub in what you have, but it's still the same principles. So I just kind of wanted to do a JLO glowy, how I get my skin to look glowy type of tutorial with a tiny little bit of chit chat today. Just really wanted to show you the foundation routine essentially that I have been doing for the past couple weeks. So without further ado, let's just get right on into this. So the first thing I've just been doing is starting off with a primer, and I've just been kind of grabbing for whatever kind of primer because we are going to be using a lot of dewy things anyways. If you have like a radiant primer, by all means use that. I'm just going to use the original Smashbox primer because like I said, I have other dewy things that I'm going to be using, so I'm not too concerned about my primer being dewy. So the next thing is to go in with the Josie Maran Argan Illuminizer. I've actually been trying to use this up because I've had this for a while, so that's kind of what prompted me to start really creating this way that I get my skin to look really dewy. So I take like a pump of this or so. I guess I haven't really calculated it out, but I usually just like a pump or so, and I just rub this on top of my primer into my skin just to kind of give my base some glowiness. Now, if you have used an illuminating primer, I would skip this step. If you do not have an illuminating primer, then this is what you would do. You would just use whatever primer you prefer and then go in with some sort of illuminating product. I just really like this Argan Illuminator. It's a very subtle gold illumination, and I like the color on my skin, and I like the fact that it has argan oil in it as well. I like to keep baby wipes next to me at all times because that's how my hands get so filthy when I do makeup. I don't know. I'm kind of messy that way. Okay, now for our foundation, what I am going to do is I've been wearing the Smashbox Studio Skin Foundation because this is a very long-wearing foundation and it has a very skin-like appearance, a very natural finish. So I have been taking a couple pumps of this, my hand's still wet here, and squirting it on the back of my hand. Depending on the kind of coverage you want, this is medium to full coverage buildable. I'm going to go more towards full because, I don't know, I don't like to look at these zits, you know, so let's do 3. Why not? If it's too much, not a big deal. Okay, and then I've been taking the Josie Maran Argan Oil, pure 100% argan oil. Now, this is a supersized Big Daddy version. And so I will take about, you can use maracuja oil or whatever kind of argan or oil that you have that you want to use. I would say about 1, maybe 2 drops. Well, let's do 3. I did 3 yesterday and it seemed to work out pretty well. So then this is going to sheer your foundation out a little bit, but this is going to just look so beautiful on the skin. So I mix it all together like so, and then I just start, as usual, putting it on my skin. Now we're going to have to build this up a little bit because that oil has sheared it out a little bit. And the brush that I'm using, I want to use a synthetic brush. I don't want to ruin anything here. So this is the Sigma Flat Top Kabuki. And we're just going to start buffing this into the skin.
Yeah. And we gon' make you lose your mind. Everybody just have a good time. Party buckets in the house.
You don't have, you know, a lot of skin issues or anything to really cover up, I wouldn't worry about doing, you know, more foundation. I would just do a little less foundation and just focus more on, you know, covering up your redness, focus in the center of your face, blend outwards, just evening your skin tone. And we can always use concealer for those stubborn blemishes. Now after we have used the brush to apply that, I just like to take a damp beauty blender and massage it all over my face, getting rid of any brush strokes, just really pushing that foundation into the skin, making it part of you so it doesn't just kind of sit on top. If you have any blemishes or any really things that weren't covered up by the foundation, you can go in with some concealer. This is the Cover FX cream concealer. It's really thick. It really does a great job at covering up blemishes. I'm going to use the shade medium. I would use shade light for under my eyes, but for medium, I'm going to use this on my face and basically just kind of spot conceal any areas where you are less than satisfied with the coverage. Next, I'm going to be doing a little bit of correcting, and so I'm going to use the CoverGirl and Olay corrector. They no longer make this, but any sort of a corrector will do. I just like to really illuminate this under eye area, especially when I have like a darker eye look going on here. So I'm going to first apply my corrector, and then I'm going to go in and brighten it up. I really like to use my beauty blender for everything. It's just so easy because it's in your hand and you don't have to go, finding the right brush or whatever. And okay, so I want to make sure to get that inner corner there where there's a lot of natural darkness. And now to brighten up everything, I'm going to use the MAC Prep and Prime. This is in the shade Radiant Rose. And I'm going to use this under here. Do a little bit of like, oh, that was not a straight line, a cream highlighting kind of, and using this as my concealer, kind of double duty here. If you don't have the MAC Radiant Rose, don't worry, you can use the, is it the Maybelline Dream Lumi? You know, that cream one? Or some sort of cream concealer. Oh, Maybelline, the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. I have that one as well. The Maybelline one has a little bit denser of a consistency, so I don't feel like it blends out as nicely as the Dream Lumi one or this MAC one. I like the MAC one the best, just because of its blendability factor, but the Dream Lumi one is darn near the exact same thing. I've had them both. So. Alright, now I'm going to take some of this MAC cream color base in the shade Shell. It's just a really pretty cream highlight. And I'm going to go on top of that where I highlighted my face a little bit here. So down the center of my nose, not all points I should say, just down the center of my nose, a little bit on my Cupid's bow. Definitely on the tops of my cheekbones here. And the reason I'm doing this now is because before I put any powder on my face, I want to use all of my cream products, because once powder gets into the mix, it can turn into a very, very hot mess very quickly. Things just don't blend. Cream blends best against cream or whatever. So we are going to finish up all of our cream products here. So I'm going to highlight the tops of my cheekbones. And I like to kind of bring it in a C motion here above my brow. This is just a really pretty highlighter. And it's easy to use. I'm going to do a little bit between my brows here, just with what's left on my finger. Alright, and I'm going to set my under eye concealer with the IT Cosmetics My Sculpted Face palette. I'm actually going to use a lot of this. So I'm going to take the matte white shade here and set my under eyes. For my face, I'm going to kind of mix a couple of these Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powders. I want to set my face, but I don't want to mattify it too much. I don't want to take away from all the dewiness work that we just did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, I don't really have, I'm just going to use this e.l.f. Kabuki brush here. I'm going to kind of dip into all of them. And you're thinking, what? I know. You could just pick one over the other, but they all together just look glorious. So we're just going to kind of sweep this across our face, like so, really lightly. I am not really doing any pressure. before we go in and do contouring and all that, we need to set this. We need to put some powder on there. Now I'm going to start bronzing and contouring, and I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics palette here. I featured this brush in my January favorites. This is the Real Techniques Multitask brush. It works so well for bronzing, not even funny. So I'm going to use this one right here, and I just love that it's so soft. It applies really nicely. You can really use a light hand with it, and it still blends so well. I like to bring my bronzer down a little bit further these days because it kind of helps give the illusion of a smaller forehead here. And then I'm going to just, bronze in the usual areas. I like to do my jawline. I got a little sun the other day because it was like 70 degrees here. And so I like to do my neck and okay, now we are going to do some contouring, and I like to mainly use this color because it's the more gray of the two, but I still kind of dab it into this one just for kicks and giggles. And I'm going to use the Eater brush and just do my contour here a little bit. I kind of like to do like this, just to kind of get up under that cheekbone and really sculpt it out. Then you could go in with any brush that you want. This is just the Diva Beauty Pointed Contour Brush. I think Sigma makes one of these as well. And I just kind of blend out the edges of this here. If you want to, you could even contour your nose a little bit. Then I'm going to clean up that contour, and I'm going to go back in with the white one here and just underneath, clean it up, make it look really sharp so it's not so low. And now for our highlighter, I'm going to take the highlighter in this palette, which is this one right here. This is a serious highlight. It is stunning. It is a no joke highlighter, so I always try to have a lighter hand because I sometimes can get carried away and then I end up with a giant streak of highlighter on my face. And I like to bang it down my nose, tops of my brows here. And then for the second to last step, I'm going to spray my face with MAC Fix Plus. It always feels so good. So good. The very last step is to dust a little bit of this magical fairy dust on your skin, the Girl On Meteorite. So I just take a little bit on a kabuki brush and just kind of dust it on and polish her off. So here is the finished look. It is so dewy, so glowy. I love it. So if you have really oily skin, this may not be for you. You might want to incorporate 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of the steps. It's really up to you. You might have to work with your skin a little bit. Thank you guys for watching today and stopping by.
Feeling so vivid, sugar, how you get so fly. Shifted higher than the ceiling. The movie is the ultimate.